friends, it's Teresa's Kitchen Talk. So in my last video, I started to tell you a story about the colonoscopy that I had last year. Doesn't really sound like kitchen talk, but it is important. And yeah, so last year I turned 53, and I had a physical. And you know, when you get into your 50s, your doctor tells you you gotta go have this colonoscopy. So a lot of my friends were having them, and they told me how easy it was and everything. And so I went and did it. And just as a briefing for those of you who didn't see my last video, the doctor perforated my colon, and he didn't realize it, so he sent me home. And I got to the hospital that night in intense pain, but I got there, and they admitted me and kept me for 4 days, and they thought that it might have healed itself because my temperature came back down, blood pressure normalized, belly never distended, anything like that. So they thought that it healed itself, which apparently it can if it's a very small perforation. So, but about a week later, I was at the YMCA, I was going to go swimming, and I was in the locker room putting on my swimsuit, and the perforation opened, and all hell broke loose. I mean, it was just, it's a kind of pain that there aren't words to describe that kind of pain. It's like if your whole body was on fire, like that not the same kind of pain, but that level of pain. I had 2 children. Childbirth was nothing like this. You know, this was really, really intense. And well, so I needed to have somebody call an ambulance, but I actually couldn't because I had just adopted a little dog, this sweet little dog that was abandoned, tied to a car, and I found him on Facebook, and I went and adopted him, and I had to bring him to the vet to get shots, and he was all matted up, so I was going to have him groomed, and this was the only day the vet could do it. So, and we had a huge blizzard coming in that night, so I was combining things. I was going to take the dog to the vet, and then go swimming, and then go hunker down at home while the blizzard. I'll show you the little dog. This is the little dog that I adopted, and his name is Weebs. And it's a very long story how he got his name Weebs, but he's my best friend in the whole wide world. And anyway, so Weebs was with me, and you know, I had a little blanket, a little bed in the car for when I was at the Y swimming, and but then the whole thing happened. My colon ripped open, and so I don't know, I just didn't know what to do. But I knew that I couldn't leave him in the car because I wasn't going to be coming back. And I didn't have anybody to go get him. Plus, he was still pretty, like, traumatized from being abandoned, being at the pound, so he was really growling. I'm like, nobody would be able to get in my car and get him. So I had to drive home, which is about 25 minutes, get him settled in, and then get to the hospital in mind-numbing pain. Like I was driving sideways. I was driving with, like, because there was no way to sit. I had to, like, lay across the driver's seat. You know, luckily my car's on a stick shift, so I could, like, prop myself up on the armrest and kind of, I was driving while I was standing, really. But the whole time I was making a deal, like, with myself and with God, like, if it's so bad that I'm really putting other people in danger, I'm going to surrender, I'm going to pull over, I'm going to dial 911. And it is what it is. But I got to try, because I love the little guy and I wanted him home safe. So, and it did work. I got myself to the hospital. And this time it was completely different. This time I was full out sepsis infection, going into shock, white, you know, I was losing it. It was bad. And the surgeon came in and told me, we have to do emergency surgery right now, or you're not going to be alive tomorrow. So I was like, what are we waiting for, you know? But then he explained what kind of surgery it was. Well, the surgery was they're going to go in and remove the perforated part of my colon, and when I'd wake up, I would have a colostomy bag. I'm going to have what? So I never really knew that much about colostomy bags before. I always kind of thought they were on your backside. That would make sense to me, but that's not how they do it. They have this tool that's kind of like a giant hole puncher, and they punch a hole here, and they pull your intestine out, and there's this little nub that's called the stoma, and they stick a bag on it. It looks just like a vacuum bag, but with adhesive. And that's how you live. That's how you walk around, you do life like that. And it poops anytime it wants, like you have no control. So, like my whole life, I always felt really pretty and happy and like healthy and everything, and now I'm just like feeling like I'm gonna die, and I'm getting this bag. Anyway, the surgery did go really well, though. I have to be thankful for that. There were no complications, and but it was a very, very difficult recovery. It was about a 2-month recovery. I had staples, of course, all the way down me, and because the colostomy was right here, this is a very short space, you know, so the incision got very infected, and I'd have to have it drained and drained and drained, and yeah, it's pretty awful. And then I had to get used to life with a bag, and I have a house cleaning business. I do a lot of other things, but my main income was house cleaning, and I had 14 regular customers. What that was. But not being able to go to work for 2 months, some of my customers are elderly, and some of them had to replace me because they just need the care, they need the help, you know. It's not really just house cleaning, it's elderly care too. So, but luckily, I mean, I was sad that that happened, but I did still have enough work to at least pay the bills. Nothing extra, but I knew I wasn't going to like starve or lose my home, or, you know, I was going to be able to pay the mortgage, the car payment, barely, but I did, but now I had to learn to live with this appliance, as they call it, and there's not really that much you can do when you have that. I mean, I wasn't going to go swimming in the pool. That's my thing. I like to swim every day. Not going swimming in the pool because they do fall off. I'm not going to be the girl. I'm not going to be the girl who does that. No. I could still swim in the lake. Yeah, and I did. I did. After I healed up and it was summertime, I did swim in the lake, and I was just like, I just got in and out really, really fast. Because there are a lot of people around, and like I said, they fall off, and it, you know, and it's bulky, it's obvious you got something there. So, it's not really that I was very embarrassed or anything, it's just, I was still really traumatized from the whole thing. It's not like I felt like I had to go into hiding, but nobody wants to be swimming in water where that thing falls off, you know. So, anyway, I'll come back in my next video and tell you the next part of the story. Obviously, I'm still alive, and I'm getting my health back, and I swam today, actually, swam at the YMCA and worked out in the gym, so I am really getting strong and broker than dirt, because I ended up losing my whole business. But this, you know, my channel is really about frugality and how to make it through the tough times. And I just think it's kind of an interesting thing that now I'm putting it into practice and really thriving through a very difficult time. So I like to show you how to do that. Anyway, nice to see you all. Leave comments below if you like, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.